Did David Miscavige ever beat you?
Many
times.
Many times.
The collapse of Tom Cruise's marriage to Katie Holmes back in 2012 has been blamed on Scientology's leader, who has transformed an arcane religion into a global operation. It commands both devotion and fear, its influence hugely enhanced by its hold on Hollywood.
Yes, it's been nothing but helpful to me for 40 years through all my losses, my mother, my girlfriend, my son.
Many members are little more than children who have signed contracts pledging to perform 1 billion years of service for the fledgling church, which was set up in 1954 by the former pulp fiction writer L. Ron Hubbard, and is famed for its celebrity followers, with Hollywood superstar Tom Cruise being at the forefront. Banned from having children while part of the group, Sea Org members are considered the Scientology elite, with Hubbard declaring that they had unlimited ethics powers.
The person, as a spiritual being, is capable of using his brain, or so on. The brain is a sort of a switchboard.
One of the Sea Org's earliest recruits at St. Hill, a major Scientology training center, was David Miscavige, a Roman Catholic raised in New Jersey who joined at the age of 16, having spent several years attending the church's courses, which his father hoped would cure his asthma. Miscavige was quickly selected as one of only a handful of people allowed to work directly with Hubbard, who impressed upon his apprentice the powerful role the media played in promoting religion.
Something that major breakthroughs exist in Scientology, being able to communicate in the world around you.
By 17, he had become Hubbard's director of photography, producing Scientology's first training films. Groomed for greatness from such a young age, it seemed inevitable that Miscavige would replace Hubbard when the Scientology founder died in 1986 at the age of 74, leaving behind an organization that claims to have millions of members in 167 countries.
L. Ron Hubbard discarded the body he had used in this lifetime for 74 years, 10 months, and 11 days.
This obsession with progress runs through Scientology. In its Dianetics courses, Scientology followers are promised that they can attain ever higher levels of self-knowledge and self-worth. In fact, there is nothing Dianetics cannot do, according to its supporters. A single course, for example, can massively inflate a person's IQ. It is estimated that to complete a full series of Dianetic courses and achieve the highest levels within the church costs several $100,000, a claim rejected by Scientology, whose transformation into a sophisticated multinational organization is largely down to Miscavige.
I can assure you, we are not what you expect.
Small-framed, shop-featured, and with an unnerving gaze, Miscavige's official title is Chairman of the Board of Religious Technology Center, a standalone organization whose remit is to preserve, maintain, and protect the Scientology religion. According to the church, the center holds the ultimate ecclesiastical authority regarding the standard and pure application of L. Ron Hubbard's religious technologies. What this means in practice, according to those who have quit the church, is that Miscavige wields absolute power over Scientology's followers.
Is he an evil man?
Yes.
It was this power that reportedly proved too much for Katie Holmes, who, reportedly fearing the church's influence over her husband Tom Cruise and their 6-year-old daughter Suri, filed for divorce. This triggered a tsunami of negative headlines for Scientology at a time when it was already battling lurid allegations on a number of fronts, many focused on Miscavige himself.
I see Miscavige as being a classic sociopath.
Today, Miscavige rarely gives interviews, making it difficult to substantiate or reject some of the claims leveled against him. In the few interviews he gave in the 90s, he appears in sharp suits and barely able to contain his frustration at the questions to which he is subjected.
You realize there's a little bit of a problem in getting people to talk critically about the Church of Scientology, because quite frankly, they're scared.
Oh, no. Well, I'm telling you. Let me explain something to you.
What is undoubtedly true is that Miscavige enjoys a close relationship with Cruise, who has been a Scientologist for almost half his life. Described as the third person in Cruz's marriage, Miscavige was best man at Cruz's lavish wedding to Holmes in Italy in 2006. 2 years earlier, in a special ceremony at St. Hill, Miscavige had presented Cruz with Scientology's Freedom Medal of Valor, describing the actor as the most dedicated Scientologist he knew. The appreciation is mutual. Cruz has referred to Miscavige as unusually intelligent and compassionate.
I have never met a more competent, a more intelligent, a more tolerant, a more compassionate being.
That the church and Miscavige should prize Cruz so assiduously is no surprise. Hubbard knew the value of celebrity and exploited it to full advantage from the start, declaring a culture is only as great as its dreams, and its dreams are dreamed by artists.
Dweller H.
This maxim has been applied with vigor as the church, under Miscavige, has expanded dramatically, becoming a multi-million-dollar global operation in just 4 decades. In addition to Cruz, other high-profile supporters include John Travolta, Danny Masterson, and the late Kirstie Alley.
Actor Danny Masterson, made famous from that 70s show, has been found guilty on 2 of 3 counts of rapes here at LA Superior Court.
But while the church's obsession with stars has helped it attract followers, pushing religion through the prism of celebrity carries an exacting price. The church has been subjected to an avalanche of negative stories disseminated across the internet which, by their sheer number, have made them difficult to deflect.
I've seen David Miscavige beat people up hundreds of times.
Scientology claims the abuse it receives is typical of the treatment meted out down the centuries to any new religion. But a plethora of lawsuits alleging that Scientology has harassed its critics, humiliated and beaten its followers, and forced family members to break off contact with their loved ones, all denied by the church, have conspired to leave a sinister impression.
For 6 years, I tried to stay in. I was being punished. I was considered an enemy. And then they started to work on my family. They told us not to talk to each other.
There is also unease over the apparent disappearance of Miscavige's wife, Shelly, who was a former member of the Sea Org. She was responsible for introducing Holmes to Cruz, and she has reportedly not been seen in public since 2007. Former Scientologist and actress Leah Remini, who was very good friends with Shelly Miscavige, has tried to find answers.
I mean, that's why I filed a police report. It's just, no, you're not getting any answers. We don't have to answer you.
According to lawsuits contested by the church, followers were threatened with manual labor if they spoke out about harsh treatment. The ever-present threat of being rejected by the church and having all links with it broken off was enough to make even skeptical Scientologists stay silent.
David is backstage, literally tearing me apart verbally for 55 minutes. Cursing, yelling, screaming at me.
Even those who are supportive of the church are tired of Miscavige's influence. Debbie Cook, a high-profile Scientologist, emailed the church's followers, urging them to reject its demands for money. Under Miscavige, Cook said Scientology had become too focused on luxury buildings and was holding more than $1 billion in reserve instead of spending it on spreading the religion. These claims have been denied by the church. Miscavige, Cook claimed, had dismantled the internal checks that were supposed to prevent the church from being led by a single person.
I know it's wrong. It needs to get exposed, it needs to get confronted, and it needs to get handled. It can't go on.
There are claims that several of Scientology's former followers have briefed the FBI on Miscavige's lifestyle. It is alleged that he owns numerous vehicles, flies in corporate jets, and has 5 stewards and 2 chefs at his disposal. These claims have also been denied by the church. It's ironic that Miscavige, who by masterminding Scientology's successful claim for tax exemption in 1993, now finds himself as its biggest liability.
We're not here to preach to you, to convince you. We simply want to show you